Hey guys, today I'm going to be taking a look at the Heimvision HMD2 along with the HMS1 solar panel. One of the most attractive features of this combo camera and solar panel is my ability to place it anywhere I like without being bound to an electrical source. My plan right now is to set this up on my backyard fence so I could catch a video of my entire backyard. So right off the bat, I want to share the camera specs with you, and then we'll get into the unboxing, setup, sample video, and my overall thoughts on the camera. The camera supports 1080p video, a paid 30-day cloud storage option, 4 months battery life if you don't have a solar panel, which equates to about 10 movements a day, two-way audio, so you could communicate with the person on the other end and they could communicate with you, PR motion detection, which helps tell the difference between a moving bush and a human object, night vision up to 30 feet, 130 degrees wide angle video. It also supports an SD card of up to 128 gigabytes. For this camera, it does require no more than a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi connection. If you want to go 5, it will not support that. And lastly, it is IP65, which means it is dust and weather resistant. So you could slam quite a bit of water against it and it shouldn't have any effect on it. As well as it could go to a temperature of -20 Celsius. So following that, we're gonna get right into the unboxing. First, we're gonna start off unboxing the camera. Here's a quick start kit. Just telling you what's in the packaging here. Product overview, LED indicator, lens, sensor, microphone. Just telling you where everything is, and I'll go through that. How to reset it, where the power button is, how to download, connecting to the Heimlife app. So we'll go through all of that in this video. So I'll just put that aside there. Let me see. Okay. So maybe what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop this out first. Let's peel that off. So this is your PIR sensor. This is your mic. Obviously your lens. Over here, this is the magnetic mount. So this will allow you to put it anywhere and just adjust it freely without having to unscrew stuff. I find this particularly interesting that it is on the back of the unit, which gives you a bit more angles in comparison to some of the other cameras I've worked with. So I'm interested to see what kind of angle I can get with that. Here's your power button. That's gonna be your reset button. Here's gonna be your power. For your USB charging, there's going to be your micro SD slot. This is going to be your tripod mount. So I believe we do have a mount, so we could screw it in, and then it will then go in here if you want to adjust, if you don't want to use the magnetic mount. Pretty nice. It's obviously a plastic here. This will be your speaker here. So when you're communicating with the people outside, obviously it'll go through here. Just put that back in here. Here we have the mounting screws. Here's the magnetic mount. So this will allow you to get your range of motion here. You'll be able to then put like a screw here if you want to mount it. I think I'm going to go this route here when I mount it to my fence. Overall, it's not too bad. This is about 4 inches high, 2 inches wide. Here you have your USB charging cable, but the good thing is I have the solar panels, so I hope I don't need this. Here's the other mount. Just your standard mounts, pretty generic mount. I've seen this with other cameras before. Just goes everywhere. And then you could turn it 360 degrees. There, and then if you want to just stick it on, here's your adhesives. Put that aside. Next, we'll take a look at the solar panel. I will say it's much smaller than I thought it was going to be. The quick start manual, just telling how you're going to hook it up. Got the bracket in the position, and we'll go through all of this. Here we have the solar panel itself. Oh, so here is how it connects. As you can see here, the cable length is 13 feet, so you can put it a distance away, which is great. Let's put this over here. Oh, here is a silicone cover for the camera. I didn't know that this was going to come in here. I'm glad it's there. So this here is obviously the mount for the actual solar panel, so you can mount it onto the fence or wall, however you want to do it. And lastly, we have these mounting screws, pretty standard. And that's it for that. Next, we're going to go on to setting it up. Supposedly it's a 5-minute install, setting up the software, so let's see how it goes. First, you'll head off to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Heim Life app and begin the installation. Once you open the app for the very first time, you'll be prompted to sign up or log in. And then once you've created your account and logged in, this will be the first screen that you see where you'll add your first device. On this screen here, we'll tap add, and then we'll hit battery camera. And now we're gonna go to our device, and we're actually gonna hold down the power button until you see the red LED flashing in the front of the camera. Next, you'll enter in your Wi-Fi password. Now you'll hold up the camera to the QR code on your screen, and it will add it automatically to the app. Now that the device has been found, I'm gonna go outside and set this up, and then we're gonna go through the app. Next, we have the daytime footage, and I was quite happy with the quality. The motion detection sensitivity at high was able to catch me at about 40 feet from entering into my property. And adjusting the app to low sensitivity, it would detect me at about 25 feet. On the other hand, with the night footage, motion detection at high sensitivity was able to catch me at about 35 feet, but it was pretty grainy and I couldn't really make myself out. I had to stand right in front of the camera in order for it to finally clear up the image. Then when I set the app to a low motion sensitivity, it was only able to detect me when I stood right in front of the camera. I also thought it did a great job capturing audio, and the speaker on it was pretty good. After bumping the volume up to 100% within the app, I could hear pretty clearly from my sliding door, which is about 20 feet away from the camera.
Heimvision HMD2 test. HMD2 test.
So in the last part of our video now, we're going to be taking a look at the Heimvision app and just going through all the settings. So just click on the image there, it will load your real-time image. If you click on the image, you can switch the footage between HD and SD. Where you see the teal camera, that is the current bitrate that you are streaming at, as well as the Wi-Fi string. Then below you're gonna find your three main options. So under live, you have the option of doing a real-time screenshot. The intercom is obviously to communicate back and forth with the people outside. Next, by pressing the record button, you can record the footage that is happening in real time. On the bottom left, we have our motion detection toggle. On the right, you'll find your history tab, and this is where you'll find your alarm logs. Let's go into calendar here. I'm gonna take a look at yesterday's footage. And just underneath that, you're gonna see alarm. This is where you're gonna see all your different alarm notifications. In this example, I'm gonna just select one of these different logs here, and then after, it's gonna automatically start playing the footage that was detected during that time. If you go back up to the timeline, you're going to see a plus sign there. If you click on that, that allows you to actually zoom in on the timeline. To allow you to swipe left and right in order for you to accurately go to a point in time that you'd want. So now in terms of actually being able to back up your footage onto an external device, I find that they've overcomplicated the process, because in order to actually get the footage off of your camera onto your mobile device, you need to actually re-record the information that you've already recorded. You can't just set start and end points and just hit a download button. You have to go back, select your timeline, start point, and hit that record button, and then kind of sit there through the entire process and then press it again. And personally, I do not like that. If you wanted to take a screenshot of one of the frames in the alarm, you could just hit the screenshot button there. Over here on the right hand side, we do have the cloud portion, which I haven't activated, so I'm not gonna go into that. The next part we'll take a look at is our settings. If you go over to the top right hand side where you see those three little dots, just click on that. Here we'll have the device name, and you can rename that just by hitting that little pencil there. By default, your receive notifications toggle will be turned on. Just below, you'll find the device share, and this is where you'd go to share your camera out to anybody that you choose. Next, you have your device information, your network name. This would be your Wi-Fi connection. And the thing to keep in mind in terms of your network name is if you ever do decide to switch your SSID to something other than what you originally set up with, you will have to delete the camera and reset the camera in order for you to connect to your new SSID name. Here's your signal strength, IP, MAC address, time zone, nothing too interesting. Over here, if you go into basic function, this is probably going to be the spot where you go in the most. If you did choose to hang your camera upside down, you would choose rotate view, just put the toggle on there. Night vision is set to automatic. Speaker volume, this is where I mentioned earlier in the video where I bumped it up to 100. This is where you would go. Power management, here, you'll see the power supply says battery powered. Remaining battery says 100. And if it was charging, it would say that it was charging in these settings. As well as on the main screen where you see your live footage, you would see that the icon would be like a teal color with a charging symbol there. Here we have the detection alarm. If you go into motion detection settings here, obviously the toggles there. We have low, high settings, which I did mention earlier in the video. And I would suggest if it is a priority for night recordings, you may want to set that to high. With the low setting, I found that you actually have to step right in front of the camera at nighttime in order for it to record. Then you have alarm only when people appear, toggle on or off. Here we have the SD card, and here you'll see your capacity, your remaining capacity, and the option to format. I'm not going to go through the cloud storage, device version. This is just telling you what firmware you're on. And if you want to delete your device, obviously the delete button there. Next, we'll go back to the main screen, and if you go under messages and then alarm messages, you'll be able to see a quick glance of all the different alarm screenshots that you've received. And just going up to the top right hand side, you can delete anything that you deem not important. And lastly, on the Me page, this is where you would go to review the footage that you have recorded or the screenshots that you have taken a snap of. And there you go. So this is where I'm going to end the video today. If you have any questions or comments, just drop them down below. Be sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you on the next one.